Start with the four great bodhisattva vows. Sentient beings are numberless. We vow to help them all. Illusions are countless. We vow to see through them all. Teachings are infinite. We vow to learn them all. The Buddha way is inconceivable. We vow to attain it. So we'll start. Inhaled matches. We'll start with our 15 minutes of seated meditation. chant the Gatha on opening the sutras. This Dharma, incomparably profound and minutely subtle, is rarely encountered, even in hundreds of thousands of millions of ages. Now we see it, hear it, hold and maintain it. May we completely realize the true mind of all Buddhas. So now, before he goes off to make young people smarter than they were at this time last year, our Dharma talk comes from our Dharma brother, Johnson Sunman.
Thank you. Thank you, my friends. And I'm afraid, Tom, you're attributing me things that are beyond my powers. I can help people learn, but I don't know. I think nutrition is about the only thing we can do to make ourselves smarter. But yeah, this is my last time here for a while. Hopefully we stop back in around December sometime. But otherwise, my work schedule keep me from joining y'all again until next June, which is sad because Sangha is important. Yeah, I'm gonna miss y'all, and I look forward to seeing what the Sangha looks like whenever I do come back. So hopefully, I'll leave you with a decent talk for my last one here before I take off for a while. And so I want to talk about something that's fun for me, and quote a little bit from the Avatang Saka Sutra, which is a wonderful one, and it's one of those many Mahayana sutras that starts off with the, like, really elaborate opening, these fantastical scenes. Like the Lotus Sutra has lots of these as well. And I know, this sort of thing turns off some folks, or just don't connect to it, which is fine. And I certainly didn't connect to these fantastical openings, but they do mean something. So I'm going to talk a little about that. And just example of the what the book 1 of the sutra calls the wonderful adornments of the leaders of the world. Just to give an example of this, where Siddhartha just woke up under the Bodhi tree, and now the tree, its trunk was diamond, its boughs were lapis lazuli, its branches and twigs were various precious elements, and branching twigs spreading out, and the fruits were jewels containing a blazing radiance, and the entire circumference of the tree emanated light, and within the light there rained precious stones, and within each gem were bodhisattvas and great hosts like clouds simultaneously appearing. Some extraordinary stuff, seemingly magical, and just extraordinary. But some of this extraordinary language, as I at least seemed to me as I studied this stuff more and can understand some of these sutras more, is actually really important stuff. Not just people sort of blowing superstitious smoke or something. And so here's another one from book 3 of the Avatang Saka Sutra, where Samantabhadra, the bodhisattva, often paired with Manjushri, the bodhisattva of wisdom, he goes into this wonderfully titled samadhi, immanent body of the illuminator of thusness samadhi, which is an awesome name. And while doing that, he then, in the presence of the world honored one, then throughout the realm of space of the cosmos and all the directions and all times, in a subtle, unhindered, vastly expansive light, in all lands visible to the Buddha's eye, within reach of the Buddha's power, manifested by the Buddha's body, and in each atom of all those lands, there were Buddhas as numerous as atoms in the ocean of worlds, and in front of each Buddha were Samantabhadra, enlightening beings numerous as atoms in an ocean of worlds, each also entering into this concentration in the immanent body of the illuminator of thusness in enlightened ones, and then presumably they themselves, entering in this infinity. It's this eternal regress of infinite Buddhas and Buddhas becoming, and so forth for forever and at all times, and just this wonderful image, and this stuff really matters in the context of this sutra, where we're getting these images through these fantastical images, getting a sense of the interconnectedness and the interpenetration of all things in the cosmos, and that's a central point for this sutra. And it might seem like, okay, yeah, sure, but it might seem also very unreal or disconnected from our experiences. But I don't think it really is that disconnected. So where I'm sitting right now, this is where I do my morning and evening practices, and part of the environment in which I do this is with freight trains. There's the railroad tracks 100 yards away, and a CSX line. And so after Friday, it may go silent for a few days or a few weeks if the rail workers end up going on strike after all. But usually, it's multiple times a day, the house shakes, literally shakes from the freight trains going by. And so as I'm sitting and meditating, doing shikantaza, and so, observing various sensations, freight trains are an important part of that. But the sound of the freight train, it's not freight train sound, of course. There's through experience, our brains put it together. Of course, we hear these things, and a whole bunch of different sounds get labeled. Okay, here, freight train, being caused by freight train going by. But sitting in shikantaza, listen to this. It starts becoming a whole bunch of different sounds, and then we don't worry about labeling it freight train or trying to make them into one single cohesive phenomena. Instead, it's a whole bunch of different phenomena going on. Because think of all the different parts of the trains, all the possible sounds that can come out of that, and just allowing each to be its own distinctive thing. But of course, the sound itself, the phenomena being observed there isn't a freight train making sound. Instead, there is all these different sounds that normally one would group together and conceptualize as freight train sound. But those sounds, that phenomena is me listening. I'm part of that. I've got ears that are structured a particular way, and there's air pressure. Our atmosphere is a certain way, and the walls of my house are blocking and affecting those. And depending on whether the windows are open, it affects how the sound comes in. But of course, the wheels moving and the cars maybe often slamming into each other, even as the train begins to slow, and there's this ripple effect as the faster cars behind slam into the ones in front of them. So there are these other physical phenomena going on that shape the sound. So the sound is this massive emerging thing that just as we begin to figure out what all goes into this, it just ripples out, infinitely. All the different things that go into making this phenomena, that experience, and to some extent repeating things I've said in a past talk. But I mean, it's not just things going on now, but just think of the evolution of the Earth's atmosphere over billions of years. That is part of that, because if air pressure was different, the experience of the sound would be different, because the air would be thicker or thinner, having a different effect on how vibrations were transmitted in. Human evolution, if it was different, it might hear things differently, but our ears are structured the way they are. And of course, my own personal history, with all sorts of weird things going on with my ears, some damage to them, so that the ears are off slightly from one another, creating a certain amount of distortion that the rest of you may not have, or you have just different distortions. So there's really this infinite number of things going on, just ripples out throughout the cosmos. and throughout time. And so that experience of those sounds during shikantaza, as the train goes by, or just sitting here or walking down the road and hearing the freight train, whatever that phenomena is, just because everything being interconnected, interpenetrating, really that phenomena really requiring absolutely everything. And this is the cosmos that's described by these fantastical images, the Avatang Saka Sutra, which is just filled with these. I mean, it beats you over the head with them over and over. Usually with having to have 10 examples in each book, one for each direction, and involves infinite bodhisattvas and Buddhas and jewels raining out of the sky and so forth. But the cosmos that's being a cosmos of everything interpenetrating, everything being required for every moment and every phenomena is the cosmos being described in the sutra's images. And so, while those sorts of images in the past had put me off, now I see that this is in fact the world that we live in. We live in this fantastical world of the sutras. If we just look now right in front of us, that image of the infinite Buddhas in every atom, their teaching and enlightening infinite numbers of beings. I mean, that is sitting in front of us right at this moment. Every atom between us and outside of us and within us, being these parts of the Buddha's body, being the teachings, each little thing teaching us about things as they are, teaching in an infinite number of ways, in infinite atoms, and being infinitely interconnected and interpenetrating. And to paraphrase Bodhidharma, the vast emptiness, everything holy. Thank you.
Thank you, Johnson. It'll feel like a chillicosm until we see you again. So let us get back to our next period of seated meditation. So now we will chant the Heart Sutra. Mahaprajna Paramita Hridaya Sutra Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, when practicing deeply the Prajna Paramita, perceives that all five skandhas are empty and is saved from all suffering and distress. Shariputra, form does not differ from emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from form. That which is form is emptiness. That which is emptiness, form. The same is true of feelings, perceptions, impulses, consciousness. Shariputra, all dharmas are marked with emptiness. They do not appear or disappear, are not tainted or pure, do not increase or decrease. Therefore in emptiness, no form, no feelings, perceptions, impulses, consciousness, no eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no color, no sound, no smell, no taste, no touch, no object of mind, no realm of eyes, and so forth, until no realm of mind consciousness, no ignorance, and also no extinction of it, and so forth, until no old age and death, and also no extinction of them, no suffering, no origination, no stopping, no path, no cognition. So no it with nothing to attain. The Bodhisattva depends on Prajna Paramita, and the mind is no hindrance. Without any hindrance, no fears exist. Far apart from every perverted view, one dwells in nirvana. In the three worlds, all Buddhas depend on Prajna Paramita and attain Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. Therefore know that Prajna Paramita is the great transcendent mantra, is the great bright mantra, is the utmost mantra, is the supreme mantra, which is able to relieve all suffering and is true, not false. So proclaim the Prajna Paramita mantra. Proclaim the mantra which says Gate Gate Para Gate Parasam Gate Bodhisvaha. Gate Gate Para Gate Parasam Gate Bodhisvaha. Gate Gate Para Gate Parasam Gate Bodhisvaha. Okay, we will take this time now to dedicate merit to those who are in need. I'll leave a space for anyone that you might want to add into the mix as we go along. All sentient beings are one seamless body and pass quickly from birth to death. We remember those who cared for us and are gone. those who are ill, those who are at war, who are hungry, and who are in pain. May they heal and have peace. We especially dedicate our service to Mike Gingy Wood, Peyton, Joanne Bailey and Kevin Sheridan, Laura Haas Knox, Kanti Pereira, Venerable Dehuala Anonamasi, Vindana Shimanai. If anyone would like to add someone in.
The people of Sri Lanka.
Any others?
Quentin and Daphne and Amy.
I'll put in for the starving families in Afghanistan.
All those suffering from war.
Any others? All beings in 10 directions, subject to the greed, hatred, and delusion of themselves and others. All Buddhas throughout space and time, all honored ones, Bodhisattva, Mahasattvas, wisdom beyond wisdom, Maha Prajna Paramita. And now Kevin will help lead the pack in our faith and practice vow. I will never retreat and will be firm in my mind in this correct Dharma. I will escape from the samsaric cycle of birth and death and definitely will see my original faith. I will be sure to inherit the life of insight of the Buddha and save all sentient beings. Life and death are of supreme importance. Time passes swiftly by, and opportunities to awaken are easily lost. Strive to realize your true nature, and do not squander your time by night or day. And thank you for joining.